Versus, obviously, a well-established strategy, something that might say, yes, you know, this is what we define as somebody that's capable of, that's capable of sitting within one of our talent pools. We've got a very formal process to do that. They're all directly linked to objectives and competency scores, project reviews, project delivery, appraisals. It could be open and transparent. So the business may say, we have 7 people in the business who sit within our talent management pool. Look how wonderful they are. Their faces plastered on a notice board and all of that business. And that might present, as we've discussed, might present some risks. It could switch other people off. Other people could become really disengaged with talent, with the talent management procedure and with the business, and not want to apply for anything or not feel as though they're going to be invested in. And it could be that we have an endless pool of talent. So it could be that anyone who achieves those systematic and formal benchmarks goes into our talent pool, regardless of if that talent pool ends up full of 40, 50 people. So I think you can sort of draw upon those on what might be the best approach for that. So I just wanted to sort of touch on the pros and cons of having talent pools, and the notion of having talent pools at all. Would we choose to have a talent pool, or continue to encourage people to perform highly so that they're promoted into a key role and they work really hard to get there? Not that they've then settled down because they know that they've gone into a talent pool and they're comfortable for the next 6 months. The transparency of it, the question of if it's not transparent but people know that there are talent pools, would people question, am I talented? Am I a chosen one? Open access to recruitment policies. Well, there absolutely should be, and it's employment right that you as an employee have access to an internal recruitment process, an internal recruitment policy. But are you by default, when you're generating a talent pool and you're making staff and everybody aware of that talent pool, are you by default then limiting the people that have access to particular recruitment processes? Possibly. And that's something that really needs to be thought about. Also, diversity. Do we find that by really closely defining who we end up with in our talent pool, are we coming up against diversity issues? Are we finding that we albeit find that we are only putting people in our talent pool who are aged between 20 and 30? Is that fair? No, can't do that. We absolutely need to recognise everybody's performance and recognise if we're going to have a systematic approach to talent, we need to have a capless approach to that with regards to diversity. Opportunities for progression, again, that sort of links directly to the am I talented aspect. Do you feel as though there's opportunities for progression for you if you know you're not a chosen talented individual? Okay. And to just formally scoop that up, really, we've got an approach where we can look at talent management in terms of different levels and how, and you probably might be able to quite quickly identify where your business sits within those levels. So we've got level 1 where it's an ad hoc talent management strategy. It's we just sort of go with whoever we feel is capable and performing well. There's no formal practices or no formal strategy to it. It could be level 2 where there are some formal practices and we do link it to performance and we do link it to competency scores, but there's no joined up articulated strategy. So it's not somebody's achieved this, so then they move on to that and they get this training and then they do that and then they're in this group. It's kind of everything's in a little bit of isolation. Level 3 where there are some formal practices and there's some sort of strategy in place, perhaps an ambition to be somewhere, somewhere a little bit more formal in the future. But it might only be applicable to one segment in the business. So that could be that if it's a heavily sales-driven business, that Only really the sales structure is structured so that we recognise people that are really hitting their sales targets, and we think, yep, they're headed for sales director, they may even be MD one day. What's the nature of that business, and what drives them to place people within a talented group? Or level 4, where there is a more joined up and formal approach to talent management, linked to an articulated strategy. For the organisation, it links to the business's strategy and where the business wants to go. So if the business is headed for growth, it may be somebody that is entering into new markets and new business and encouraging, you know, a wider approach to sales and achieving sales margins.